Hi y'all, my name is Kirsten and this is my creative space. This room serves a lot of purposes. It's my office, my workshop, my art studio, and my filming studio. Over the past several months, I've tackled one project after another in here, transforming thrift store finds, reimagining furniture, and pulling all the little details that make this space feel special. But more than anything, this room had to feel inspiring. For me, that means it had to be beautiful, feminine, and full of bold color. And as always, it had to be on a tight budget. Now that it finally feels complete, well, mostly complete, I can't wait to take you through the final transformation. So when I first started designing this space, there were many variables that I had to consider. Like many variables. So not only is this space a place where I have to use it as a workshop to build things, it's where I create things, it's where I film, it's where it's an art studio, it's also my office, it's where I pay the bills and where I do my editing. So it had to fit all of those variables on top of the fact that this is an open concept part of my home. From the back door, it's eyesight all the way to here, and that's where we come in every single day. So it had to fit in the color palette of the entire home. So the jumping off point was this mural back here. I originally purchased it to wallpaper on the inside of the bathroom inside of my store. So I picked up this mural off Amazon. It was actually quite inexpensive, but it was ginormous. I needed something tall enough because it had really tall ceilings in there, but it was also really narrow. So I didn't use the whole thing. The issue is I thought I could do this whole wall in that, but unfortunately it wasn't wide enough. It was way more than tall enough, but was not wide enough. So that's when I came up with the idea to put it on some plywood and then frame it out to make it look like picture frame molding. Now you may notice some of the original shots look a little bit different. But we changed it up because you may notice also the walls are a different color from that time period. They were painted a sea glass color and I loved it, but the camera does not. And so it would make things look strangely colored when I was taking pictures and when I was filming and whatnot. So I painted them a soft white. Who knew finding a white would be so incredibly difficult? And so when I did that, it actually made this look dirty kind of looking. So that's when I painted them more this coral color. It's actually Cottage Door from Dixie Belle paint. So from there we did the buffet, and this was a challenge that I entered from Instagram. Ivy Lane Home did a challenge. She actually does them twice a year. So if you transform furniture, be sure to look out for her. She also has a YouTube channel. So a little shout out to her. She's super nice. Anywho, she did a challenge and the challenge theme was old world opulence. And I thought, ooh, I have a buffet in my storage that I think would work really well. And you may notice I may say that a few times because everything in here has been in storage for a while. They're all pieces that I had collected through the years and hung around in the storage of my store. And I just didn't have the time to put in. This needed a lot of repair. It took all of every hour of 2 weeks to complete this. I ordered it on an online auction, and when it was picked up and delivered, it was not quite what I was expecting. I knew I had some damage, but I didn't know how much damage and how severe of the damage that it was. A a lot of times veneered pieces, you know, they do have some chipped pieces or whatnot. This was more than chipped. There's not one single piece of veneer left on this buffet anymore because it was all coming off. So we had to grain fill and we had to do lots of doodads, and in that it lost some of its character. So I added on some trim on the top back piece right here and along the bottom, reconstructed the legs because they had split as well, and the doors had warped, so I got those to lay flat again, added some trim on there, added some cute little crystal knobs that I thought would be perfect color, and then just rub and buffed the original hardware here. So this is, it holds craft supplies, it holds my silhouette, you know, vinyl type stuff, as well as, you know, paperwork and stuff. We don't have a whole lot of papers anymore, thank goodness. What important papers we do need to keep is housed in these, in here. There we go. So then I added this light. This was in the store as well. It was actually in the sea glass color. So I painted it in the, this is called Peony. And then also did the lamp over there. And then zhuzhed up a little pot that has a face on it over there. These are actually my grandparents. They're no longer with us, so I like to keep them here to remember them by. There's several things throughout this space you'll notice are from people that were very special to me. And then I picked these up, I think, at Target. But of course, they were butterflies, so I had to pick them up in some oyster shell just to zhuzh it up, in a little milk glass over there. So then once I got this all kind of situated over here, I added this little cart as well. This is, I wheel this around with tools in it and whatnot, so going from project to project, I have everything in here, but I just needed it to look pretty in the meantime. And over here is the thermostat. And it just stuck out like a sore thumb. Like, this was so pretty, and then this ugly thermostat. So I built these little shelves to kind of disguise it. Originally, I was going to do just like a picture frame that was on a hinge, but I thought that would look strange. It didn't look very cohesive. So I did 3 different shelves, put on some little knickknacks. This is little milk glass. Like I said, you'll see that throughout this space because I absolutely adore milk glass. And this was my first time with playing with some air dried clay. I made this little hibiscus and this little tray. I also had to be specific sized. It was a little difficult to find things that would actually fit on these dainty little shelves, and it couldn't be very heavy either. So and then this is just a little watercolor postcard that I had painted with the butterfly, and I popped that in a frame to go ahead and disguise the thermostat. Oh, go back and watch this video because this is a little faux marbling technique that I did, and I had done once before, but this one didn't quite turn out like it was supposed to. So go watch that and you'll see what happened. So then over here, we have the chairs that we painted. So I'm an admirer of Chair Whimsy. It's a, she has a website, she has a blog, she has Instagram, I believe she has a YouTube as well, but she does chairs, and she does chairs to perfection. She reupholsters them in the most beautiful fabrics, and the way she coordinates all of the fabric is gorgeous. So these were originally painted, and in the store, of course, they were a sample to show you how you can paint fabric. And they were in the color Savannah Mist, which is a light dusty blue, but of course that color didn't go with the color scheme. So I thought I would repaint them. I just didn't have the heart to get rid of them just yet. So I recreated my own fabric with This is actually a soft pink background with the little hot pink polka dots, kind of like animal print that I was recreating. And then, of course, the backs where she has actually had a chair that inspired me. She took some of her daughter's artwork and had it printed on fabric. And so that's why I thought doing the artwork on the backs of these chairs, and of course the butterfly. I've had this image of this artwork for a while that I wanted to do, where half of it looks like a realistic butterfly and the other half is all the floral. So yep, that's why we did those. But then we just stained the legs, and to kind of tie in with the stained legs from the buffet. And then, of course, I needed a place to put my drink. And I had seen many pricey pieces on the internet where they took sculptures and they've made lamps, or they've made tables, like drink tables like this one. So I thought, what if I got a flamingo, like a yard flamingo, the plastic ones, and we made a table. I had to cut out the base. It was my first time using a router. So like I said, check out that video. And then I did a little faux marble on the top with a paint pour technique, and then some epoxy over the top. Then from there, this seat was originally like a baby blue color, and that did not fit into the color palette. And I knew it wasn't the right color when I purchased it, but it was a really great price and it was the style that I liked. And I thought, well, I should be able to do something with it, right? Well, it took me a good minute before I got up the gumption and did all the tutorials to actually find how to actually do it. So it is not natural fibers, so it was a little more difficult to dye than I originally thought it was going to be. And there is, you could see, there is some discoloration as it's been sat in, but it's a lot better than where I started from, that's for sure. So this is my supply cabinet, and originally I had a different armoire, like a TV armoire, the old ones back in the day when they used to be really deep. Anywho, for those that are younger and don't understand when TVs weren't super thin and flat, it worked great. It was narrower this way, but it was much deeper. And since this space, goes to the hallway that way and it goes to the bedroom that way, I needed something narrower, as well as I'm learning in my older age how to somewhat organize. And anything past 12 to say 14 inches, you're just not finding, right? So when it's shelves that are deeper than that, everything past that 12 inches or so point just falls over to the back and you never can find it. So fun fact, I said in the beginning, this is complete-ish because it's always a work in progress, but I really need a new rug. It looks like paint splashes on there, but there's actually some added paint splashes because the way this cabinet was, trying to find stuff, it actually, one of the cans of paint fell out onto the ground, popped open, paint absolutely everywhere. It's on my sewing machine, it's on the rug, it was absolutely everywhere. So that had to go, and I needed to find something different. I was thinking about it. I'd been looking around a little bit through thrift stores and whatnot, and that's when I remembered this was in storage. This used to be the paint display cabinet in my old store. It did not have doors on it at the time, though. I had taken the doors off because these were actually, the top and bottom were two different pieces that were actually found in the trash. When we were looking for something for the paint display, budget was really tight, as always. And my husband happened to come upon, this is actually an armoire top, and there were two tops and no bottoms sitting in the trash. So we picked it up because we thought, well, we'll be able to figure out something for the bottom. And we just happened to come upon this dresser that was at the bottom. But it was missing 2 drawers, and we didn't care because it was going to be a paint display and open anyways. When I brought it back inside and painted it, it needed new doors. I wanted to close everything up. So I built new doors, painted it pink, of course, this lovely, soft, creamy pink. But I cannot tell you how awesome it is to be able to come in here and see everything where it's at, be able to just grab what I need and go do my work. It's so amazing. I did add some dry erase. It's like stick on. I don't know what, I guess it's like film on here so that I can kind of keep a track of, I like to write things down. I can't keep it digital. And then I added a little cork board up here so that I could put samples and things so I can work out what I'm designing and whatnot. So that's for there. And then I took the magnetic strip that was in the other, on the other cabinet, and I placed it over here to hold all my screwdrivers. So like I said, everything is right here. I can see everything, and no, not everything is as neat as it was originally, but I can still see what's in there and get to it really easy. So nothing better than that right there. And the outside is all molds of all kinds. So I used a combination of resin and clay, and it took me, oh, and then these are some wood you bend pieces and trim. It took me probably 3 weeks of lots of tears, I guess you could say, lots of back breaking. I did it while it was all together, so I had to sit on the floor. If I did it again, I would do it while it was apart so I could lay them down flat and up on a higher surface. I'm learning as I get older. Sometimes I don't work smarter. I work harder and not smarter. So learning slowly. So this is all original up top, but everything down here is all new. So I added these drawer fronts and the bins down there to hold all the goodies and little butterflies on the knobs. One of my grandchildren pulled one of them off, but anywho, let's move on. And then over here, I added some open shelves. So originally it had all of my tools on here, all my power tools, and they're all DeWalt, which are bright yellow and black, which are not the most appealing. So I removed them from here, and I brought in, these are just things that I'm kind of storing, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with them. And then I just have some leftover vases and little architectural salvage and a cute little blue ball jar, and of course my oysters, because we're in North Florida where they're very prevalent, and the beach we go to has a lot of them. Some more milk glass that holds all my brushes. Wood that I store, the stuff that is going to be used on future project. And I actually did an extra one of these little lamps, so I added it in here, and just so it looks a little better when I'm filming. And this artwork up here, I actually thought I was going to put it on the shelves on this side, but I chose against it. It was just too bright and too big, so I moved it over to this side. And this is the aprons that I use. I just have the fall one out for this season. That was painted once upon a time. And I've just got my sewing machine down here, and these are actually the are they magazine boxes, whatever, kind of keep all my paperwork and stuff. That needs to go back on the bottom shelf of the desk, but I wanted to let it cure a little more before I put too much on it. So that's why it's still kind of sitting tucked over here off to the side. And there's my poor, lovely sewing machine that is, goodness, I want to give it a makeover. What do you think? What should I do on it? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? And this end table was not originally going to go in this space, but then I kind of changed my mind. but I was basically challenged from level 8 suitcases to transform a suitcase in some way. And since I do furniture, I thought, how can I turn that suitcase into a piece of furniture? I couldn't think of anything. So instead, I built a piece of furniture that would hold the suitcase, that would store it. So the design on the front was sculpted with clay. I added the little trim here and made the little faux bamboo. And then the suitcase actually is the colorful version of the design that's on here. And then it's in that soft pink color that is also in the buffet. And then you'll see in the desk here in just a minute. Then over here, this was just a quick project that we did. This is an inexpensive cordless lamp from Walmart that we covered with fabric. When I saw them in the store, I said, oh my goodness, that is just dying. It's plain white when you purchase it. So I was like, it's dying to be DIY'd. So that's what I came up with there. Then working our way over this way. So originally there was a bench seat built in over here, and my husband built it, and I was going to do a cushion for the top. And originally I did, and the kids or the dogs or someone ruined it, and the foam was really expensive. So I never replaced the cushion, and it just was kind of awkward anyhow. So I thought to kind of, since I'm working in this space and it needs to serve so many purposes, I needed it to feel bigger. So I took out the bench seat and we did this. This is an heirloom piece that basically, these were 2 chairs that went to my mother-in-law's dining set. So it was my husband's grandmother, basically. It was her dining set, and then it was his mother's after that. And after she passed away, it got passed down to me. And I already have a dining table, and I don't have any space to store it. I made this cute little bench, and I found the fabric at Hobby Lobby. It just fit perfect for my color palette. Looked and looked and looked and looked everywhere online, and it's kind of hard to find this combination. Actually, the bolster pillow is from there as well, and we painted it in the hot pink. I also recently just framed out all the windows with some new trim, and then added the curtains as well. And then this lamp over here was, again, I had it forever. It didn't sell in the store. Originally it was black. I painted it white, and so in this space I just felt it looked very shabby chic, you know, back when shabby chic was so popular. So I thought that the gold just looked better. So this is some gold rub and buff on there. Then last but certainly not least is the desk. And this video just came out. It might be a little controversial, but it's okay because I absolutely love it. I think it looks absolutely perfect in the space. It was an oak desk, and I painted it in this beautiful high gloss finish. I don't know. I just absolutely love it. The pink that I have chosen, I think, is a quite sophisticated pink. It's creamy. It's got a tint of orange in it so that it coordinates with the coral back here. And it's just, oh, it's exquisite. In the high gloss, it's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It was oak, by the way. That's the controversial part. So go back and check that video out. So there's several things that I still want to do in this space, but for now, I think it's done. And I thought it was complete enough to show you this space the way it is right now. So there are several things that I still would like to do in this space, it's always a work in progress, right? And I think spaces that are curated over time are just the best anyhow. So I would like to replace the light and fan that's here. This is the original 1990s fan that is up here. So I'd like to maybe find a really pretty chandelier if I could. The ceiling is sloped, so I have to find something that hangs. Anyhow, so I just haven't found the right piece yet in the right price range, for that matter. And I really would like to change out the rug. That's the other kind of more expensive thing that I'd like to do. The other little added things, like I'd like to do some cute light switch covers, and I need something else to hold my paint. I don't need nearly the size cabinet that I have. It was actually downsized from when I had it in the store, but now it needs to downsize again. I don't need nearly as much paint as what's in there. And what I'd like to find is one of those curio cabinets with the beveled glass on the sides. One that's maybe narrow would be lovely. Is really what I'm on the lookout for, so that I can, that'd be really pretty in a high gloss finish as well, maybe in another color. Put the paint in, but for now this works. It is on wheels and it is a good work surface. For an extra work surface, I have a work table, but then this other one, it does work quite well. It's falling apart and I don't need something that big. I don't have a place to really store it, so it ends up getting shoved behind the camera somewhere. So let me know what you think of my creative space. I love how this space turned out. It's bold, feminine, and full of personality. Every project in here pushed me to be more creative and take a few risks, and that's what makes it so special. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey with me. If you love makeovers, DIYs, and colorful creative spaces, be sure to stick around, because there's so much more to come. Bye-bye, y'all. Have a very blessed day.